Hey, once again, I'm back. It's the Uncle, and welcome to another episode of Two Bars, the Uncle Brisson Review Show. And listen, of course, I have to bring a special guest on for this review because every time this ball comes out, we get together, we talk about it, we act crazy, we go crazy over it. So this is one for old time's sake or for new time's sake, however you want to take it, it's for somebody's sake. And when Royce the 5'9" comes out, I mean, we probably touch base at least 1,000 times.
Yeah, we talk on a regular basis, but when Royce dropped, it's like, yo!
Yeah.
When is it come? You ready?
Yeah. We want to know. Were you ready?
I don't think I was. I was anticipating, but I don't think I was ready for what I heard.
Okay. So, of course, well, first off, who are you? Let the people know who you are.
I go by the name of Azriel DiCaprio, former MC, Philly. Me and Uncle Briss, we go back a ways, so we're here to talk this hip-hop.
Good friend of mine, so that's why I have him on. Plus, he has somewhat similar knowledge of hip-hop.
I don't pass the ball, but I know a little bit.
Okay, all right. So, we all know Royce. Royce, if for the past few years, he's been making a lot of noise.
Yeah, his run for maybe like the past 5-6 years, maybe even longer than that now. His run, like Slaughterhouse forward.
Slaughterhouse, where we got Trust the Shooter.
Trust the Shooter,
what else we
Layers, Street Hop, Prime.
Bar Exam 4.
Can we talk about Bar Exam 3 just for a second? Like Bar Exam 3, like really put him in an upper echelon for me. You know, I was like, okay, I've always been a fan of his, like even from Rock City. But that was when I felt like, oh, he's about to shut the game down, and they don't even see it coming.
Yeah. So you didn't see it coming, and if you still don't see it coming, we're here to talk about the most personal album that this man has put out in his career, in my opinion. Would you not agree?
I would definitely agree.
Okay.
I would definitely agree.
And
we'll dig into that.
The Book of Ryan, okay? The Book of Ryan by Royce the 5'9". When I found out this joint was coming out, I got freaking excited. I got hyped. Again, called my man. My man was like, listen, as soon as this joint dropped, he's texting me at like, what, 12?
Yeah, 30? It was like 12, 1 o'clock in the morning.
As soon as it was able for download.
Thanks, Ryan.
Yeah, we needed that. So what we're going to do is we're going to break this joint down track by track. I'm going to say a little bit about what I like about it, and then, you can tell me, So we hop into the intro, which is produced by none other than Philly's own Ant-Man Wonder. Shout out to Ant-Man Wonder. Always giving out some good quality beats to those who need them. I like the beginning. First off, my man basically is washing his hands clean of the nonsense and, also thanking God for...
thank God for waking me up this morning.
Right.
And not for nothing, usually I skip intros because I'm like, what are you going to say? But I felt like he was really trying to convey what we were getting ready to get into.
Right.
Like... You hear Royce talk in his music, and it never really sounds that. It sounded heavy,
right.
So it kind of made me feel like, okay, we might be in for a ride with this one.
Yeah. So you knew it was going to get personal after you hear this intro. So we hop right into something that he snuck peek, little sneak peek on his IG. Woke.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So Woke. First off, as soon as I heard
the rhyme scheme.
The rhyme scheme was crazy.
Yeah.
But as soon as I heard the beat, you know what I mean, my head just started to nod. And please, it got to be some more, Royce. Like, it ended too fast, in my opinion.
It was like an intro following the intro.
Yeah.
But it's funny because when I first heard it, the line that stood out to me was, "Your chick is bad, I can't deny it. She want to be my wife on the side." What do you say? Something about I just step over the ring.
Step over the ring like Andre the Giant.
I was like, yo, wait a minute. I was like, it's too early. We only 2 minutes in.
Right. All right. So then we hop into, of course, the parallel, which is the interlude, which actually gets us prepared for what we about to get into, which is my man's life. But go ahead.
Yeah. I liked how he. It was a bit of a spoken word piece, and he kind of paraphrased Gil Scott-Heron.
Yep. I don't know if a lot of y'all caught that.
And I thought that was kind of dope because going into Caterpillar, there was another Gil Scott-Heron sample. So I just thought that was deep.
So then we get right into Caterpillar, which, of course, is broken in half on this album because he said that if it would have been all together, so we got Eminem, and then on the back end we got Logic, right? Which they all would have been on the same track. The track would have been 90 minutes long, but it would have been an enjoyable 90 minutes. But let's just talk about the bars on this particular track, please.
First of all, I believe S1 did the instrumental, and I think that boom bap feeling. The minute I heard that beat, I was like, oh, he gonna have him in his bag.
Oh yeah,
he gonna have him in his bag because you know me. We've had this discussion. You know how I feel about Marshall.
You love Marshall. You love Marshall, and I'm gonna tell you, this is vintage Marshall.
Yeah, man.
This is vintage Marshall.
Yeah,
like
man.
it actually sounded like the Marshall Mathers Marshall. You know what I'm saying? So of course we greatly appreciate this Caterpillar track. You know, a little bit of the science behind it. You know, you don't appreciate these balls.
Yeah, you don't appreciate
the butterflies, right? You got the caterpillar. So banger.
Can we? What was the line that that M said? He was like something about your father taught you how to rap. My dad is your grandfather.
Oh yeah,
had to come back on you like a black wire, something like that.
It was like rehatching. and all that.
I had to rehatch on it.
So just vintage M on this particular track, which I really love.
And I love M with Royce mainly because I feel like Royce always brings M back to his essence as much as M, because we all know M's a great lyricist. Right. But he has a tendency to go on the pop side.
And then I talk about M too. Like my whole thing with M was shock value. He always trying to hit you with shock value. And after a while, not saying that I don't like shock value, but M, this brought back to the original M.
This sounded like battle rap M.
Right. So then we get into one of the highlights of the album, in my opinion. We're talking about Godspeed. All right. Godspeed, you know, the production, so good.
Phenomenal.
Again, my man Royce shows his growth. You know, he's basically, you know, mushing this now in the face of the people that disbelieved in him. Such a good track. He got that line where he says, "The Lord is my shepherd."
That was on my notes too.
That was my Doberman picture. I was like, yo.
So that one plus the what did he say?
The Issa Rae and Lisa Rae.
I have Issa Rae. What was the other one?
Come on, bro.
I have what did he say? Allah, Jesus is hard to believe in. I'm a product of even the Garden of Eden. Speaking how targeted we,
bro. Come on, man.
That rhyme scheme is so crazy.
Y'all need to listen to that if you have.
And that's just the bars. We ain't even getting into the layers of it.
Yeah. Oh yeah, no doubt. Now, first off, the vocals were amazing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
The Godspeed vocals were amazing by Ashley Sherrill.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Shout out to Ashley Sherrill.
I looked into her too. Her voice is amazing.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So now another highlight on this track, which I love the concept behind this next track. And it features somebody that I've been trying to tell people about for such a long time.
Thank you for that, by the way.
Oh, yeah. Dumb by Royce and Boogie. Boogie is from Compton, right? Yeah. And I think I had one of his albums on 2 bars before in the past, and I've been trying to tell y'all about him. But go into first off, Royce with both of them with the breakdown of stuff that we swear is so important to us, and it's really null and void. Yeah. You know, he talks about the award shows, the voting, and all of that, and when it's really you already know who's gonna win. So the whole concept behind that track is just dope.
There's a line in there where he said, I think he said, "Sinners sell their souls and angels sell their halos and wings," and I was just like, do you know how people aren't going to appreciate how introspective this album really is.
Right. And you know, Boogie, again, we love you, bro. Don't let nobody tell you different. We were so happy when you got signed to Shady, right? Yeah. Another addition to the Shady family. Yeah. All right. So go ahead.
And that was kind of seamless because people didn't even know that Boogie was signed to Interscope.
Yeah.
Boogie was signed to Interscope, so him being on Shady just made sense.
Yeah. And we're all happy for that. Yeah. All right. Okay. So now we go into another real personal skit, right? The "Who Are You" skit, right? So when you first heard, go ahead, tell them, because you called me when you first heard it.
So again, with skits, it's always touch and go, right? But with the "Who Are You" skit, with him talking to his father, to his son, I'm sorry, having a father and son discussion, and then you find out that his son wanted to name it the Book of Ryan.
I know. I said, and so basically, and I probably need to ask Royce this. Did he get the title from his son?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right. So that answers that. So we go into the reminiscent of his father. He talks a lot about abuse on here, substance abuse, physical abuse, which I really, really love. Royce, we appreciate you getting real personal on here. We didn't see this side of you before. And then we go into your son, him just admitting that he's probably been away from being an entertainer and all that. And his son really don't know him. So that right there was just amazing.
Just really heavy. Really heavy.
Mm-hmm. And then we go into something that you knew I was going to text you about.
Listen.
Cocaine. Okay.
Cocaine that's an incredible record.
Right.
That's an incredible record. First of all, I love the fact that he harmonized.
Even the melodies, right? I was going to say that.
So wait. When we did the Layers review, I said to you, I like the way Royce harmonizes. He should probably do that more.
He did say that. I
didn't know he was actually going to do it.
So you got it.
I'm not taking credit for that, by the way. I'm just saying.
Right. And what I appreciate, too, is we all, like in our lives as young men, we all go through these types of things. Not saying we all, but a lot of kids from the urban community.
Relatable.
You might find something, your parent might be doing drugs. You might find it. They might want to keep it a secret from the other parent.
Yeah.
So just that whole layout to me was just amazing.
And I also love the fact that at the end of the record, he told his dad that he loved him and that he appreciated his dad giving up cocaine for him.
Right.
I thought that was commendable. I thought it was dope, and I thought it was relatable because that's the story I relate to.
Yeah, exactly. Right. Like I said, it's something that we all could probably take personal. Then we get into one of your tracks.
Life is Fair.
Life is Fair. Okay. More looks into my man's past. Just the things that we just got to realize that happens to us, and life is fair. Life ain't fair. So give me your take on that, because I know you love this track.
So first of all, when it first comes on, and he's just kind of harmonizing, he's rapping, but it's a little bit of spoken word. There's not really much of a beat behind it, and I'm like, okay, I still like where this is going.
Right.
But then the beat comes in, the drums come in a little harder, and there's like an interlude in between each verse.
Right.
And I like, and I didn't notice this until the day I was listening to it. At the end of the first verse, he talks about how his homie stole his bike. At the end of the next verse, he talks about how his neighbor stole stuff from his mom, so there was like a synergy to both verses that I didn't pick up on until I listened to it earlier.
Okay.
So
and then he used to steal bikes with his homie too. His homie stole his bike. His mom told him, "Listen, what goes around comes around." Then we get into another pre-release before this album came out. And I ain't gonna lie, I'm still, no matter how much I've heard it, I love this song. Pablo Boat.
I love Pablo
featuring
Boat.
J. Cole, okay? Shout out to J. Cole for the KOD album too. But this
I love that
prepared us for that.
Yeah, since we I love that album, by the way.
Yeah, Pablo Boat, amazing.
Yeah, Pablo Boat. And it's funny because when that record came out, people were saying, oh, J. Cole got him.
Yeah, right,
that's subjective.
Right.
Because
it's no got him. I'm going to end that right there. It is no got him, okay? Because when you look at both of the verses, right?
It's different.
Right.
It's different.
They're both reminiscent verses. And if you know, and as I listened to it too, it kind of, when I did the research on the Pablo Boat and Pablo Island, it was a amusement park that in the early, I think, 40s or whatever, like black people wasn't allowed on. And which was amazing to me, because as Royce's childhood going through, he has some of his most vivid memories
it was
going
a staple to his childhood.
Right. So, which I thought was good, because evidently some barriers were broken in regards to Pablo Island, right?
Yeah.
Now, of course, that's goes through some things in the past, and then J. Cole is whatever y'all say, J. Cole got him, whatever. J. Cole is reminiscent to,
it was just the flow.
And they both speak on childhood.
So I told a friend of mine who thought that, and I said, listen to it in the context of the album.
Right.
Because in the context of the album, you'll understand why he's saying what he's saying. And sure enough, in the middle of the album, after all that personal introspection, Pablo Boat fits perfectly.
I agree. Then we get into one of your favorite songs, okay? Produced by none other than Mr. Porter.
You get more money.
Legendary.
You get more for your money when you mess with Mr. Porter.
You know what I mean? So, I get excited when I hear this song, right? And this song, if you don't have some good headphones, you will not appreciate everything that's going on inside of this production, bro.
It's funny you say that, right? Because I was listening to it in some earbuds, and I could hear it dumping. I'm like, let me get this The Beats by Dre to test.
There you go.
Put the beats on, and I'm like, oh my God, I'm about to wake my baby and the wife.
Right.
Let me turn this down some.
And as much as he's barring out on here, he actually still got some little messages in this particular track.
Yeah,
the production is so freaking dope on this track.
I feel like Mr. Porter is very slept on as a producer.
Yeah,
I'm going to say that.
They fit together so good.
Yeah,
they fit together so good. So what? Shout out to Denon Studio.
Yeah, shout out to Denon, aka Con Artist.
I mean, come on.
Yeah.
You know, and then we get into a very, very highlight on this album, in my opinion. We're talking about Amazing.
I think Amazing.
Did I say a very, very highlight? I did say a very, very highlight. It is.
It's a very highlightable track.
Very highlightable track. All right, so go ahead. Amazing.
Amazing. It's funny because that's how I would describe how I felt about the song when I heard it. First of all, I love that Ryan sample. I love that. I also love the fact that he's reminiscing about getting his ball getting his ball taken from him.
Because if you really listen to the track, right, it's probably what his parents would say to him when they took him in that same store.
Yeah,
you only get to play the game one time. They ask you for the 4 quarters.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So to me, and it's like that's what happened. Like in the corner stores, that's what happened. They had video games in there. Your mom would take you in there. You would get whatever penny candies, you know, quarter bags of chips or whatever. You
might play Street Fighter for a little bit.
Right. And then you hear, you know, he's talking about being in the neighborhood now. You know how he is back
now.
then, and now how he is now. Just such a amazing track.
Yeah. I see what you did there. Real quick, can we touch on some on lot? The track with Pusha.
I guess we was gonna get there. You know what I mean? What we got? Is that?
What's that? Pusha? Yeah. Because you got to make. Because I think is Summer on Lock before Amazing? Well, whatever.
All right. Okay.
So
it was coming. But I got the Summer on Lock. First off, it begins with the bam.
Yo.
Okay. The lock.
First of all. I miss those days.
I did skip Summer on Lock. That is my fault.
No, I got you. That's what I'm here for. I got you. I got you. I love those kind of tracks. We need more of those collaborations where it feels like hip hop, where it doesn't feel like a gimmick, where it feels like a bunch of MCs. I don't know if they recorded this together or not. Don't really matter.
Right.
It felt like they were all in the studio together.
And shout out to Pusha T for just doing the hooks. I mean, come on.
You know what? At first, I was mad at that because you
wanted a verse from him.
I love Pusha, and on that beat. But he was on layers. He gave you a 16. I'm like, all right. And not for nothing, that line Royce said about shooting him with his head off, like his neighbor was Tim Taylor.
Oh God! Oh yeah.
Yo.
You know what? But I'm gonna tell you, I dug Fabulous energy on this track too.
Yo,
normally Fabulous always got bars, but my whole thing with him sometimes is his energy. He brought some energy on this joint.
Here's what I'm gonna tell you.
Go ahead.
Fab can spit. Fab turns it up when he's around other spitters.
Right.
Kind of like what J. Cole did on Pablo Boat. You wasn't going to tell me J. Cole did that on Pablo Boat. That's how I felt about Fab on this. I'm like, Fab, I like Fab, but I don't know what I'm going to get.
Right.
The first bar, you heard the energy. I was like, okay, we in there. We in there.
No doubt. All right, so now we can get to Outside, right?
First of all,
okay.
Very rarely am I excited just by looking at a track list. When I saw it was Outside featuring Marsha Ambrosius and Robert Glasper, if you're into jazz, Robert Glasper is a staple, especially in this climate.
Right.
So I already knew that
it was going to be amazing.
Oh, yeah.
All right, so what about the second verse on here with the honesty to his son? I mean, come on, man.
That on
Like how much more honest can you be, fam?
when he said, I don't want you. I fear that you might be ashamed of me. You know what I mean? Like
It's just like
that-
I mean, you know, and then as an entertainer, you probably don't, as sports person, you don't get to spend that time and do the certain things with your kids that you really want to do or that you see society say you should do.
Yeah,
so for him to talk about, you know, the fears of alcohol, him becoming an alcoholic and all of that, and just not being there, and you know, to me, it was just amazing.
When he said, I never taught you how to swim, but I'm afraid of you sinking.
Right.
I felt that, man.
Right.
I felt that. That was so strong. And, you know, I'm a new father. So I'm listening.
Congratulations, by the way.
Thank you, sir. But I'm saying that to say, I'm hearing all these fatherhood tracks with totally different ears than I would have, say, a year ago.
Right.
And as I'm hearing that verse, I'm just like, yo, that's heavy. That's a fear that every father, I'm sure, can relate to.
Right. Okay.
You know what I mean?
All right. So then we get into probably
that might be the heaviest song.
This next track is just ridiculous.
This might be the highlight of the album.
I put this on with my son, and my son was like, "Oh my God, Dad!"
Yeah.
I mean, this the whole story from the Christmas to the abuse to the just getting so personal, bro. And then at the end, summing it up like this is what gives them the power. Come on, Kareem.
You know when
no, come on, bro.
Listen. When Royce said in the interview that
go ahead.
When Royce said in the interview that he felt like this album was his most draining album. Like he said he felt like he was emotionally drained.
Bro.
I was like, how deep could you get? When I got to this song, do you know I sat up out of bed, because you know, albums drop at midnight now. So I'm laying down listening to it. I sat up out of bed, cut the light on, and was like, what?
I couldn't believe it. Royce, such a great track, man. You know, for time's sake,
I'll just say this: if you don't give me another album after this, thank you.
All right, I got you. And I could probably agree with you on that, but we want more.
Yeah, exactly.
So then we get into a very personal interlude, which is, of course, we know it's some truth, but then he has the exaggeration too, with the brother flew in with the cape and all of that. But we get it. We know what the deal is. Protecting Ryan, you know, his oldest brother, right, in and out of prison and all of that. So we really appreciate that. It's something that, again, when you're opening up someone's book or when you're looking into somebody's life, it's something that, you know, needs to be said and needs for the people to know.
Yeah, and I feel like he alluded to his relationship with his brother on one of those Bar Exam mixtapes. He didn't go into detail, but I remember him saying something, and I can't quite remember what it was, but I remember hearing it. So when I heard the skit, I was like, oh, this might be what he was talking about.
But he didn't get this as personal.
No, he didn't even. It was kind of like alluding to it. He didn't even. You didn't know who he was talking about, but the situation. Kind of.
And then we go into the buzz all over the internet. They going crazy over this song, Strong Friend.
You got to protect your strong friend. So he tweeted that before the album dropped. And I remember. I was like, what does that mean? And then I listened to the song and I was like, oh.
So don't forget, even the strong friends need help, need assistance, need people to check up on them, need people to make sure that they cool, because they out here trying to make sure everybody else is good.
And shout out to not just Royce, but Joyner Lucas and Logic, all these artists who are speaking on suicide prevention. And that's what the song is alluding to.
Exactly.
Like, it's people go through things and they don't always ask for help, but they need it.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
You can tell by his delivery that that's what he's trying to convey. I thought it was nice that he told Denon and Marshall to kind of look after his kids the way that M looks after Haley, the way that Mr. Porter probably looks after his kids. I know he has a daughter. I think Tiara from Bad Half. I think that's his daughter.
Oh wow, I didn't know that. You done taught me something. All right, so anything and everything.
I love that. I mean, it's a short track, but knowing that white people kind of brought us over and made us do everything, and still we fight for everything because we don't have anything.
Right.
I just thought that message and the rhyme scheme and the harmonizing, I just thought that for a 2-minute track, I couldn't really ask for more. I just thought it was a nice touch.
Agreed.
Yeah.
All right, then we get into Stay Woke. Let's talk about the beat. I believe
Illmind did that track.
Let's talk about the beat.
And that beat is phenomenal.
Let's talk about the beat.
That's all you want to talk about?
Let's talk about the beat. In the line, what he say, baby blue? He said on the corner, like baby blue on top.
Wait, it's so many quotables. Wait, I had to put it in my phone.
Yeah. He gotta cut it out, Royce.
He had the one line, he said...
He gotta cut it out, fam.
He said, I'm a one of one, like I say in Isaiah Thomas.
Yeah, he gotta cut it out.
Wait, what'd he say? He said, you think you Pac? I'm thinking of sinking your Demetrius ship.
I gotta cut it out, bro.
I was like, come on, man. That's not fair.
All right, first of the month, this monumental breaking with him and T-Pain. Again, something that needed to happen. From what we talked about, what happened with them in the past.
Yeah. He referenced that on Lighters, that T-Pain didn't want to work with him or couldn't work with him, whatever the case may be. So to see them get together now,
right?
I just thought that was a good thing, and I felt like that was a career coming full circle.
And I was going to say, I think true music fans will appreciate this, especially T-Pain has such a highlighted career a few years back, and just to bring that full circle back. And
I like the fact that it wasn't just T-Pain on the hook. Mm-hmm. Like he let T-Pain get some things off.
Right.
I like what did the line T-Pain say? He said, "Money can't buy you happiness." So I go and cry in a Testarossa or go cry in a Ferrari or something like that. Mm-hmm. I was like, wow. So even the T-Pain record has a lot of substance to it.
Oh yeah, no doubt. Okay, so then we get into the Caterpillar remix, which we talked about is the slice in half. Logic touches on a lot of good topics about racism and things of that nature, and him being a mixed kid, and he bars out on that.
And I feel like a lot of people they give Logic flack for always bringing up the fact that he's biracial, and I can kind of get that, but that doesn't take away from the fact that man can rap.
Right.
You know what I mean? And I would have liked to hear him and M's verse all on one track, but I appreciated the way that it is broken up. The way that they chopped it up. Yeah.
All right. So with that being said, we have to come to an end. Unfortunately, as much as we could go on and talk about Royce the 5'9", he just released Prime, which had us going crazy a few weeks ago. Yeah. And now we're into this, and we talked about layers. What I gave layers on an Uncle Briss rating scale. Layers to me was darn near perfect. And it got an Uncle rating. It got the top rating. I go from 1 to 5. It got a 5, which is the Uncle. Mm-hmm. So I guess being as though I'm not bragging, but being as though it's the 2 Bar show, it's my show, I'm going to ask you on an Uncle Briss rating scale, what do you rate the Book of Rhyme? Now remember, we got playback value, we got production, we got lyrics. I mean, where are we going with this?
All right, so on our way over here, I said a few things to you, and I said, one of the things I said was I felt like this was better than Layers.
Okay.
I also said that if anybody asked me who had never heard of Royce the 5'9" before, what album would I send them to go to?
First.
And I would send them to the Book of Ryan.
Okay.
Not just because of how he's rapping, but because I've always gravitated towards albums where I feel like at the end you kind of know the person a little better.
Okay, right. Mm-hmm.
That being said, I also told you, if you're going to give Layers a 5, and that's as high as you go.
That's as high as I go.
You got to give Book of Ryan a 6, man.
Okay. So
that's what I said.
You did say that. You did.
Now, what you want to do is your show. You do what you want.
It's amazing, and I have to agree with you.
Yeah.
This album is better than Layers, as much as I love Layers. So with that being said, it gets deep. A 5 out of 5. So thank you for watching 2 Bar.
My steam in the street be giving niggas the chills, like when Big would drop and Jay-Z would drop to be right on his heels. The clearances, and I hope you